So here's the deal. We just wrapped up finishing 2 podcasts that we recorded.
Yeah.
That we planned.
Yeah.
Right. We came in with our notes and everything. We had an idea. We had fun. Good healthy discussion. And so I wanted to experiment with something. I wanted to throw in like a mystery topic here that we talk about, and I blindside you both. Now, I will say that I have not done any sort of research or prepping for this topic either.
I feel like this
So
is what anyone
I wanted
would
to
say.
go in just as blind as you. So we're going to pretend that this is a dinner conversation with mixed company, and the topic comes up, and we got to respond. Ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here it is. Christians and cannabis.
Oh.
Oh, we have 2 pot smokers on our hands.
It is Austin.
Can honestly say I've never smoked pot in my life.
We are recording live from Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Texas is not a state where marijuana is legal, so
but you can find it
we
anywhere.
do not know where to find marijuana. We do not know what it smells like. We don't know what it tastes like.
Oh, I can find it.
And it's
Easy.
you could. Okay, well I was just trying to cover our ass a little bit on the air, but
And
anyway.
I definitely know what it smells like.
No.
I mean, I smoked it when I was
You go to
younger,
any
so.
show, live music show in the city of Austin. Doesn't matter if the police officer 10 feet away from you, you can smell pot anywhere.
Okay. Here's the deal with cannabis.
Yeah.
Canada just legalized the recreational use of it, right?
Uh-huh.
So bills are in the process of being passed, and about how that's all going to roll out here in the fall. We see more and more states here in the U.S. starting to legalize certain aspects of it. Some the medical use, some the recreational use.
I was going to say, Canada's kind of behind on that one. The United States already has like 7 or 10 states that are legal for recreational use.
Is it all of Canada?
It's all of Canada.
Oh, so
All of
Maybe
Canada.
they're ahead of the game there.
Yeah, no, they're a little bit
There's
ahead of the game.
There's like 15 people in Canada. So
Or behind the game, depending on your perspective on this issue, whatever. So you have that going down. Here we are in Texas, which could very well be one of the last states of the United States to ever legalize marijuana.
Alabama.
So Alabama could be close to last 2. I don't know. But the conservative states aren't anywhere close. So here's the thought. What does the Christian do with legalized cannabis? Or even yet, cannabis that's legal in some places, not legal in others, depending on where you travel.
Can I start this conversation with a question?
Oh, sure,
Okay,
sure.
So, where do you guys stand with tobacco use?
Okay,
Christian
so
smoking
I was
tobacco.
thinking alcohol.
I mean,
so-
either one.
okay,
Yeah.
well, crack. I'll throw that in. Where do
Well,
you
no, that
stand?
is
Where do you stand
illegal
with Christians
anywhere.
using crack
Okay,
cocaine?
I'll go ahead and make the claim. I'll go ahead and make the claim. I smoke an occasional cigar. I drink occasionally.
I was about to say I smoke crack occasionally.
No. So,
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
I do not
Do you-
think there is anything wrong
Yeah.
with smoking marijuana occasionally when it's legal. I don't currently smoke marijuana, by the way. I want to make that very clear.
Okay. All right. We're all
There's a lot of
CYA
differences
here
here.
because we're in Texas,
That's
right? But sure. Okay. Thank you, Spencer.
yeah.
Yeah, so I've always leaned on the side of the
Before you answer,
Yeah.
Kaitlyn, you grew up in Plano, Texas.
Yes. We were known
Die-hard Republican family.
No.
Yeah.
My grandparents are Democrats.
Oh, they don't count. Where are you on the right or left? How far?
I would say I'm a reformed Republicans. Actually, I don't feel like I...
Okay, I bring that up because
That was a very loaded question,
your
Joe.
parents are going to listen to this podcast, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna
my parents
I'm
were
gonna
praying
send
for
it to
my
them.
salvation.
Okay, awesome. All right, Christians and cannabis. What do they do?
So I feel like I've always leaned on the side of this conversation. It's illegal, and so I always lean that I feel like people should sustain, whether you're Christian or not, because it's illegal. And then when the conversation changes to where it is legal, because I feel like it is only a matter of time before it will be made legal and taxed, and we'll start making a profit off of it. Then I think you should fall under the lines of personal conviction, and then whatever the legal limit is. Like alcohol, I don't feel like it's any different from alcohol or tobacco.
I would say that would you guys say that if we were to poll under 35, under 35 years of age, that most people would agree with what you both said. When it's legal, it's legal.
Yeah.
No.
Under 35.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
When it's legal, it's legal?
When it's legal, go for it. Christian, non-Christian, it's legal.
No, I feel like people would say I could do it now. I don't think people care.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
You're saying,
I don't think
I
people
think,
care whether or not it's legal or not.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it now. Okay, fair enough.
They would say it's less dangerous than alcohol, so why not?
I'm with you.
Okay. So what do you think? How does the church handle this situation? Are we gonna have Bible studies where we're rolling blunts? Or what are we gonna do?
I mean, you have Bible studies where people drink.
Oh.
I mean, I'm.
So how far do we take this?
No,
Are we good? Are we good?
Um,
Because some would say, and some have already said, especially if you poll some Christians in Colorado, that hey, we get together, we study the Bible, and we have marijuana with us because it relaxes us, it calms us down, it
Yeah.
helps us
To
focus.
me, the line is how much has something been messed with chemically.
Mm-hmm.
And cannabis to me is something that you can grow in your house and in your backyard. I mean, so there's obviously like enhanced, cannabis, whatever. I don't know the science. Sea cops. So I don't know much about it, but yeah, I mean, I think my line is when things are getting done chemically. Gordon Ramsay posted a video recently, or maybe did a video or a TV show on it, but of how crack was made. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they literally are pouring cement and gasoline and crack in barrels, and there's this whole process. So to me, that's where the line is drawn. Now it's illegal, so I'm not going to do it now. But if it's legal, I'll be one of the first ones to start a podcast. Possible. I don't know if that's true. I will. So I podcast now, drinking whiskey and smoking cigars. So,
Okay, well, sure. So that's becoming more and
I
more
would allow it.
socially acceptable. At one point, where there's still some, segments of Christianity that really don't believe that you should drink out in public because you don't know who's watching, could cause them to stumble, all that kind of stuff. We could do a whole another podcast on that because I think that's insane. But
Agreed.
you're right. And so, what do you do when now it's marijuana, right? So, are we? Is that another just taboo thing? Where we're inviting people over and we're doing it, we're hiding it from the church because we know the older generation of the church doesn't approve of it, or we want to embrace it, but we don't embrace it.
It's going to be like that for a while.
Yeah?
For sure. I think it's definitely going to be, even when it's legalized, it's definitely going to be taboo for a while. But I think as the generations, let's be honest, older generation's going to die off, new generation that was accustomed to it when they were growing up, it's going to be more and more accepted.
So this is the part that I'm kind of thinking about this. Well, okay, you have people drink during Bible studies, people smoke cigars, and wow, I feel like I'm so sheltered right now. But can people? This is my question: is like, can people be affected physically by the person next to them smoking pot? Do we know?
Yeah, it would be a whole lot.
So that's to me where I feel like if that is true, if like you are, and this is a mystery, whatever podcast, so I have no research. But my thing is like physically, like if you're in your own home and you're with, good company, whatever, and it's safe company, okay, and it's legal, fine, whatever. But my question would be, and I could see where, this gets a little tricky, is like there's for some people, they won't step foot into a cigar shop because they can be affected by the smoke or whatever.
You mean like a contact high? Right?
Yeah, like secondhand high, or just what are the effects of being near someone who are smoking? Like, so I don't know. This is where I feel like I don't have a lot of information on.
There would be effects of secondhand smoke, so you better not light up a cigarette next to any other human being either, right?
Yeah, and a lot of places you can't smoke actually, like in public places around with.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
This is going to be so much fun when this becomes more and more legal to mess with.
Are edibles legal right now?
Edibles?
No.
Oh.
Not yet. I mean, I think there are some.
But cannabis oil is legal.
Oh,
yeah, because coffee shops all over Austin
when this
becomes
becomes legal, because this is already in the works, guys. There are companies, right, that are putting cannabis into anything that you can think of. They're cannabis drinks, cannabis Tootsie Pops, cannabis fruit roll-ups, whatever it is. I'm gonna have.
Is that what I said?
What is it?
That's the cannabis.
CBD oil, right?
CBD is cannabis.
I don't know. I don't know what's.
It just doesn't have THC in it.
Right. Yeah.
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 So this is what happens when you do a podcast blind and you really have no idea what you're talking about. But this is exactly how a dinner conversation would go, wouldn't it?
I feel like if anyone questioned on whether or not I was trying to save my butt and say I've never smoked, I think I have proven everybody. They're like, she definitely hasn't smoked anything.
I've heard myself, it's been a long time. So.
All right. Well,
all right, new question though. We're talking about mystery things. So I was at my family's house for the 4th of July. And we were, at the lake. People, we're hanging out. We've been in the sun for a while. One of our friends starts telling us that the moment cannabis is legal in the state of Texas, they are opening up a shop.
Sure.
Get in line. Them and 5,000 other people, right?
Oh, I mean, they already have everything written up for it. Anyways, so then the question comes up is, should a Christian open up a cannabis shop? He was also going to try and mix it with sports gambling too, but whatever.
Oh, wow.
I'll give you an answer for that, because I do have, and one of the things that I was thinking about is what are we afraid of? What is especially the older generation that's been around the sun a little bit more? What are we afraid of when this stuff goes legal? Like what are the repercussions? What are the things that the younger generation isn't ready for? And so you bring up this point: should a Christian, when it becomes legal, open up their own shop? My question back is, what is the intent of your business? I don't care what it is that you're doing. If you're going to open up a toy store, if you're a Christian and you're opening up a business, what is the intent of your business? Is it to make money? For what means? What ends? Everything that we ought to do as a Christian is to sow back into the kingdom in some way, shape, or form.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you're opening up a shop because you want to be the cool Christian pothead, then I would say that those motives don't line up with what we see in Scripture. You shouldn't do it. If, however, you think that this can be a means to end to reach people, right, to showcase Jesus to them, and you actually have a plan to do it, not just, I'm just going to get high and let conversations roll, then I would say that yes, absolutely, because I think Christians should be bar owners. What better place to conduct ministry than being able to serve alcohol to someone, pick up that they might have a problem, and be in the position to build a relationship with them and encourage them to seek help, to cut them off when you need to, because you're not worried about making that extra dollar. You care more about the relationship than you do what you're selling. So yeah, I mean, I'm for it under the right circumstances. And with that said, I probably should come out of the closet with something. Can we use that term, or is that only? I think that term is there only sections of society that are allowed to use that phrase?
Spoken for.
I'm very curious to the end.
Well,
of this,
skeletons.
Okay.
You got some skeletons, Joe?
No, I'm coming out of the closet on something. Okay, I haven't smoked weed since college, but that's not what I'm coming out of the closet on.
Okay.
I'm coming out of the closet with this. I invest in cannabis companies.
Okay.
I have a significant dollar amount, and in fact, even my college kids' savings accounts are invested in marijuana stock companies, right?
Yeah.
And I do that for many different reasons. One, under the umbrella of being a good steward with what God has given me, I'm going to put it into growth opportunities, and I'm going to reap those profits, and I'm going to put them toward kingdom endeavors. Two, ultimately, that shows you that I don't have any particular problem with marijuana itself.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the misuse of marijuana, just like I do the misuse of alcohol, smoking, and anything else. And my greatest fear is that we will legalize marijuana too quickly and put it into the hands of a generation that is already slow to mature. No offense, guys, but the average age of a millennial getting married, getting a job, getting out of school is way higher than it used to be, right? We see.
You can debate that, though.
Oh, no, I can't debate nothing, man. Y'all are 30 and still living with mom, all right? So
hey, listen, I'm 27 and married and have my own house.
Everybody gets offended. It's not me. It's most of them. It's not me.
I'm putting money back. I haven't found a woman that could spend my money wisely.
I mean, the maturing thing might not even be y'all's fault entirely. It probably is, and as I look at it, a part of really, really bad parenting and things that have gone wrong in our culture. But ultimately, putting cannabis marijuana in the hands of a generation that's already not making the greatest decisions or prolonging their maturity and growing up is scary to me. Sure. That's scary to me, right?
Yeah, that's true. I have a lot of friends who I see on social media and all those things, and it's just, I'm just like, how do you have a living? Like, how do you have a career? Because your life is so engulfed, right? Yeah, that's the right word. Mm-hmm. In this world of, drugs and alcohol and everything. And so, yeah, no, I do worry about that. Like, there's a reason why Zach and I are not getting on the having kids train a little or early. Because it frightens me, the world that we're, kids are growing up into.
Well, I'll end this mystery podcast section with this question, because I know we got a lot of parents that are listening that have older kids, and
I scared them.
And they you scared them. We all did. Their heart's beating, but they're still listening.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to know, how do I respond to my son or daughter who believes that it's totally legal, and they know that they're taking part in cannabis, whether it's legal or not legal. They don't believe it's right. They don't believe they should be doing it, but their son or daughter is. What does the parent say at that point? How do you handle that?
Well, I think it kind of goes back to, like, even what we were talking about in a previous podcast when it comes to etiquette. I think people in general just need to get better about having conversations and communication, specifically parents to children, because you're raising up the next conversationist, you know what I mean? And so I think parents, the best thing that you can do is learn early on how to confront difficult conversations with your child at a young age, to where you're still able to kind of help shape and mold the information that they're given, not deceive or not hide or, twist information, but you're able to say, like, my parents did that with me really well. They would just ask me kind of like this. This is like a random night at the McCoy house growing up. Hey, what do you think about this? And I loved that because, one, it prepared me for whenever it was going to be given to me in the real world. But then, two, it kind of helped me start to begin on, how do I feel about this? This is what all my friends are feeling, but do I necessarily feel it this way? So I think, one, having the conversation, not being afraid about it, not, holding things back and trying to hide, shelter your children. But then, two, I think it's also helping them learn where they side with certain topics and with certain things, allowing them to be able to come up with their opinion, helping them think for themselves. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think in doing that, some of the tools are, one, mom, dad, remember, seek to understand before being understood.
Yeah.
You want to ask questions, open-ended, probing questions. Why do you think it's legal? And what makes you think that? Why do you think it's okay to consume it? Do you see a great open-ended question is, do you see any downside to the recreational use of cannabis? To which your son or daughter might reply, not for me. Like, okay, maybe not for you, but for anyone else. Do you see what could go wrong with this being legalized? Or do you see why I, as a parent, could potentially be concerned? Right? Get them to see things from your perspective is key, but you do that through open-ended, peaceful kind of discussions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I had a spiritual leader of mine. He always told me this phrase. He reiterated it over and over and over and over, and it's always stuck with me. But he always said that there cannot be change without trust. And I think that's really important. It's a lot what Kaitlyn was saying, right? Like, I don't think kids trust a lot of parents in the fact that they're going to get very upset with them, and there's going to be repercussions if they do go to them with these hard questions or even admitting to fault, right? And so I think parents need to be able to speak openly and even speak from personal experience. Like, I would love to hear somebody say, especially since a lot of millennials' parents grew up in the 60s and 70s where a lot of people were smoking weed, to be open and say, I smoked it wasn't for me, and then start a conversation from there. Like, let me tell you from my experience and everything like that, and then start bringing up the questions that you guys posed and everything. So, without trust, there can't be change. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one to remember. I think we start these conversations without fully, as a parent myself, I have soon 2 teens, and before I know it, 3 teens. But as a parent myself, I have to put myself in their shoes. I know what I want to communicate, But I also have to think about how do I want to communicate it in a way they might understand it. Like, how do I, if I'm afraid of something for them, right? How do I communicate that in love and get them to think about it, right, from those perspectives? It's hard to do, and it can't all happen sometimes in one conversation. You have to have pieces of it. But if you charge into these topics with let me lay down the hammer on what you're doing is stupid, I'm going to tell you why, you've already closed off communication.
Yeah.
You've broken the initial rule of seeking to, understand before being understood. And so be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient.
I would say active parenting and active listening, I think, are parents' two biggest things that they could ever do. And, by the way, active parenting is not being a helicopter parent. They are very different. Yeah. And so, I don't know, being involved in your child's life and get to understand the world that they're growing up into, because it's scary for them too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, if you're a parent pastor out there and this topic is something that you're wrestling with in some way, shape, or form, and you'd like to talk more about it, please reach out to us, because we'd be happy to take these conversations offline, respond to you privately, and hear your situation and give any sort of wisdom that we can, assuming that you would even want wisdom from a bunch of potheads. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. Just kidding, guys.
They're not coming to me on this one.
No, they might.
Maybe other topics.
They might, Spencer. Just need to believe. All right. Good job.